Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If to my paid subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So I'm so happy to have you today. So for this video in particular, we're going to be talking about and discussing what is going on in the global conflict of everything. As we all heard, all seen on the news cycle for quite some time now, we have Israel, Iran, and the United States all going at it. There's a compilation of Russia and Ukraine. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. A lot of activity, a lot of movement, if you will. So in this video, we're going to simplify it, try to simplify the news in a way in which you can understand it. What does Spirit really want us to focus on? Because let's be real here, these are all old men playing with firecracker, right? Playing with the lives of ordinary brothers, sisters, children, fathers, grandsons. They're playing with people's lives here. So let's get rid of the noise. Let's focus on what does Spirit really want us to focus on when it comes to the situation in Israel, when it comes to the situation in Palestine, in Iran, and also here in the United States. We have spoken sometimes about my December 31st, 2024 psychic channeling in this book, right? And we'll talk about this in a moment and what it talked about in this book. But before we do that, I want to quickly go over some quick information, a little bit of disclaimer, and then we're going to jump right into the reading. This intro is going to be short as heck. But this video is being recorded on Tuesday, June 17th at 12:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I'm recording this specific video. We're going to be doing a blind reading. I really don't know much about what's going on because it's too much chaos, too much information. So I like to go into this blind. Let's see what the Spirit wants us to focus on. What does Spirit have to say about the situation at hand? Are we going to go to World War III? Is the United States going to be plunged into war? Right? We're also going to be talking about the astrology with Uranus enters Gemini on July 7th. The last time we had that was during World War II. So it's very possible that these things could come into play. Now, here's the caveat here. Back when I read a couple of months ago, I'll find a video, I'll put the video in the description below of must-watch videos. But in that video, I had to talk about and discuss and ask the cards, okay, are we likely to go into World War III within the next 5 years? They said no. But by the 5th year period, it becomes more likely. So the question is, the United States is going into war. We know that. The energy is there. It's very persistent. The question is the new definition of war. How will it be perceived? Are we entering a world war? Are we having a civil war at home? And if so, what would that look like? What would the modern age of war look like? Is that massive protest? What does that mean? Right? So there's a lot of context here that we need to unravel in this video. But this video is just for entertainment purposes only, for educational purposes only as well. If you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content, watching this video longer than normal, and sharing this video with others really help boost the algorithm of this YouTube channel. And for those I want to spotlight for this week, community spotlight, I want to highlight a couple of subscribers. Now, in order to get notified and be noticed on this list, just do the things that I have just stated, and you'll be put on that list. I don't pick the list. AI does it through YouTube and say, okay, these are the most active members for the previous week. These are the ones we want you to highlight. So these are the people I'm highlighting our community spotlight for the week. So I want to extend a great gratitude and thank you to all you guys who have been actively participating. We have Mary Shalom, right? That's a new one, so thank you, Mary. We have Cam Gallis. We have Angel Shining. Paulette Harris, thank you. Hope you're doing very well. And then we also have here Fridge Pictures. So thank you to all of you guys for actively participating, helping out the channel in any way possible. But now going into the reading now, because like I said, I promised this would be a very short intro, but we're going to jump right into this. I got my Art of War. Okay, the Art of War. This actually was pretty effective when we talked about the LA riots. Spirit was basically using this book as a way to guide me. And in this book, it was essentially talking about how in order to defeat those within the governmental officials, do you know how they cover themselves up with masks? They're saying essentially, bring them and expose them. Expose them to their family. Let them see the ugly of them. Because the reason why people wear masks is so that they can do things without going noticed, so that they don't get recognized, so that they don't get penalized, they don't get seen from a different perspective, from a different light, from their own family members. Let them see it. So in terms of protesting, Spirit was like the best way to defeat them is not through violence, but to expose those people behind the mask. That would do a lot more damage. That would bring down the king's ability to control the masses, because if you can control how one perceives themselves around the world, that will start to crumble. It will go from the bottom to the top. It may not crumble from the top down. You can't defeat the top. You can't get to the top. But if you can crumble the base that protects the top, when you remove its foundation, remove its structure, the whole thing starts to collapse down. So Spirit was saying the best way to defeat a king-like dictator was to essentially expose those who embrace that, expose those who are behind the mask. Those are the ones that are most vulnerable. Those are the ones who are most likely to break. Alright, so this is my book. This is my psychic channel book. If you have been following me for quite a while, you would know and be very well familiarized with this. But this is the psychic channel. What I do is I listen to singing bowl meditation, and I just write with permanent ink on a glass pen. And whatever I hear kind of clairaudient, and whatever I see visionary, I just write down. I don't question it. I just write it down. And I mark from when I start writing to when I finish the writing. So, in this psychic channel in here, we have channel messages at 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 31st, 2024, after when I recorded this. And this was channeled again at 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It says here, I'm going to read you the whole channel, and you can kind of tell me how many things have come to pass, how many things have not yet. But a lot of it has come pretty much to pass. Even I am shocked, because in a way, I do question my own abilities. Alright, so it says here, the world you seek will be met with diversity and adversity. Love all that will be, can be, and should be. The world will transform in matters of ilk. Thy truth shall be opened. Happy New Year. May you rest solely. The world will transform. Please be prepared, as you yourself will change. Happiness will plague the world, while others will live in such desolate of such plague. That it means that there will be pieces and different parts of the world will live in a period of happiness, where others will live in such despair. But it's also, again, in perspective. We have here, world leaders will be submission to all that can and will be. If something is meant to happen, they will be following their soul contract. They're saying that they don't really get a free choice of will here. And we're going to see that in today's reading. Health will be sought by those who want it. An open vast to wisdom and faith. For those who are wanting to get healthy, become healthy, maybe they have an illness of some sort, they want to seek some medical help, they will get it, but they will also become spiritual in some way. We can watch and look at President Biden, see how he's doing, especially now that he has been announced that he has prostate cancer. Let's see how that's gonna play out. We do have here, kings will fall, not one but by the many. In the video when I was talking about this, I also discussed and talked about the plausibility and possibility that the Pope and others will fall, because in the essence, king means male leaders, right? Doesn't matter. In this modern world, there is no such thing as kings, unless you're a monarchy. But king, in the definition of what it really means, is a leader that everybody follows and listens to. So that's how spirit does it. That's how I write it. It says here, a new faith will emerge and reignite a passion in others. Diplomacy will not be of this earthly plane anymore, but by the many planes of existence. So that is yet to come to fruition, whatever that may mean. We do have here, hate will fill those who lack understanding of the world they live in. Pretty self-explanatory. All right, let's go to the next page. We have here, robots are the future, for that nation no longer needs to create souls, but rather they can be co-joined with that of a non-earthly plane, a truth, if you will. So, scientists have just stated that they were able to, first time ever, create a robot, a living, breathing robot that's able to reproduce on its own. Okay. AI provides a consciousness, and we're going to talk about consciousness and how it works and everything like that later on. We have here, the economy shall roar one last time this decade of the century. We're just talking about a massive collapse for this decade. So that means that the economy is going to roar one last time. It's going to go up. It's going to be a big thing. The economy is going to do very well, but it's going to come crashing down. All right. It says here, the globe will experience a sense of peace for a moment. A breath, if you will, before a coming of age. A future that will define the decade and generation. A war, perhaps. This war shall come at a time when we least expect it to. He's your warning of the quote, the exiles. So the exiles means criminals, essentially, right? He's your warning of the criminals. Okay. Many will survive and live to tell the tale of what has become before us, a life of bliss before the kiss. But the thing is that I noticed in here too, it says here that the war shall come at a time when we least expect it. Right now, all of us are expecting a war to break out, right? So in essence, there might not be a war. It might be when we least expect it. It may not even be on the news. We don't really know. But it's something that's going to catch us off guard. We have here the next one. A Nostradamus of this time will write the next chapter of mankind. May you heed his warning, for that I have made him to free you of the burden of this earthly plane. His predictions will become more accurate in this new age, as the old ones are of the old timeline, not of this one, because we shifted into a new timeline. Trump shall be the trumpet that blows the new whistle of the age. For that I have created him in this time to usher in a new age of darkness and of light. So we talked about here as well the coming of age. The globe will experience a sense of peace for a moment, a breath, if you will, before a coming of age, a war perhaps. And then Trump is the one that initiates that type of age. So Trump is going to be the one who initiates a war type thing. We have here Harris. Vice President Harris shall seek a new path towards the presidency, for that she shall become. Biden will be known for his tranquility, stability, and peace in a time of upheaval. So Biden represents the peace time period in the world, the global peace, right? He represents that peace. The Carters represented an old way of doing things, being good to humanity and expecting nothing in return. Rest assured, he has a very important role to play in the evolution of the United States and the world. Hillary Clinton's important role is to show the struggle of the new age of Aquarius for women. Not all will be easy. We never said it would be. So it's going to be a difficult period for a lot of women in the United States. Animals of the world shall receive a level up of consciousness and awareness due to the art of science and cloning. So we're already starting to see that already. We're starting to see that they are coming out with scientific research that shows that for the first time ever, dogs are leveling up in terms of consciousness. Yeah, you heard that. We also talk about cloning. They are very effective at cloning. They were able to bring back a de-extinct animal from the past. We have here, they even were able to make a brand new species of animal called, quote, the woolly rat, which never existed at any period of time, but he took the genome of a mammoth and inserted it into a rat and it made a woolly rat. We have here as well, new land will be discovered and one may emerge from darkness. Further shaping what we thought we knew of our world will shift with the new discovery. So they're saying that there's going to be a new landmass that's going to emerge and one is going to be appearing from the darkness. Possibly not even Atlantis, it might be Atlantis, but even like Antarctica, for example, or something that we never even heard of before. We have here, quote, new land animals will be discovered, including a colorful bird that looks more like its ancestors than any bird known today. So it could be like a dinosaur. It could be something like that. Doesn't mean it has to be alive. Did not specify this animal was alive. We have here, quote, a new life will once again breathe its way through animals that do not exist or exist. They will be successful. So again, this was recorded on December 31st, 2025. And you can see here that this one has already come to pass. They were able to create an animal that did not exist, the woolly rat. Okay? A planet will be discovered that holds the breath of life similar to life formed on Earth before human arrival. It will be known as the Jurassic Galactic, a blast from the past into the modern age. This may be the planet of Earth from a different time period in the future. Excuse me. Let me read that again. It will be known as the Jurassic Galactic, a blast from the past into the modern age. This may be a planet of Earth from the past into the future. So they're saying that this is a reflection. This is a light source of Earth in the future through light years. All stars may die, but light always lives on. Earth is no different, as it is a star in itself for all other life forms. So they're saying that if you were on planet Mars, well, a further planet away, Earth would just look like a star. Okay, the last one. A tunnel or a bridge would have been found that was once buried and forgotten, used by ancient cultures like the Incas and the Romans. The end of channeling at 3:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 31st, 2024. Okay, so that is the psychic channeling for that. The reason why I brought it up was because of the water type thing that we were talking about and discussed then. Let me just get my little handy dandy water and we're going to start reading. I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of context of what was in that book, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are new and probably not aware. But again, it's always good to get a refresher. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Okay. Spiritual angels, tell me about the situation going on in the Middle East right now with the conflict between Israel, Palestine, Iran, and possibly the United States. Well, the United States is involved, to be honest. All right, so tell me about the situation at hand in here. Now again, this video is just a blind reading. I'm trying to read independent from whatever the news is saying because it's more better just to read what your intuition is telling you rather than what the media is telling you. It's actually 111 right now on the microwave. Okay, give me a card that best represents the United States in this situation. Give me a card that best represents the United States in this situation. Give me a card that represents the United States, okay? Give me a card that best represents Iran. Okay, so this is Iran. Give me the card that best represents Palestine. So these four cards. There's a lot of information here. Then give me a card that best represents Israel in this situation. Israel has a lot of cards. Okay, they're telling me this is all I need. The bottom of the deck here, we have the full card. Being very cautious, but you have to be very cautious with this type of situation. One wrong thing and the whole thing can blow up, literally. The top of the deck here, we have the Emperor. Leaders, world's leaders, making a choice or a decision that could define something from different ideology and different standpoint. And here this is the world, right? This is world's leaders making a decision that will affect the world and the outcome. What will happen? And here we have is the Empress. Earth won't win. Humanity won't win. This is something being uprooted. Now, this could be possibility of war. Okay, this could be what it means. As you guys all know, when this means reverse here, it means something coming down. But it said this means something is getting uprooted. Something is getting uprooted. Not so much a strike, but something gets uprooted. The original meaning is something getting destroyed. Something getting uprooted from its original foundation. Okay? Something is being uprooted. We're going to figure out what that is. But let's read the environment. So we have the United States, Iran, Israel, and Palestine and Israel. Let me make sure I write that down. Okay. Just so I remember the order. Because last time I forgot the order. That's not good. Okay, U.S., Iran, Palestine, Israel. Okay. Okay, so good. I have the order in the way it was place. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at the environment. What is going on in this environment here? Well, the first card that comes in, we have the Devil card in reverse. The Devil card is reversed. It's something that's being contained or being ordered. This is something that's not being contained. This is not something that's being ordered, right? Something that's not in control, right? Something that's not in control. And ironically enough, it falls above the U.S., the United States, which tells me the United States is not in control of the situation. Now, this makes a lot of sense because if you have remembered, President Obama, made the Iran nuclear deal. Trump came in and destroyed that nuclear deal, and he's trying to essentially take bombs and nuclear missiles away from Iran, right? That was because the United States cannot control Iran anymore. The idea is, that whole idea is shaken. That's what it feels like. It feels like something's shaken. And I have done videos before in the Middle East, and specifically the situation between Israel and Palestine, the situation between Trump and Iran, and specifically anything related to the United States. All right. But, and even Ukraine, right? So this is what we get here, right? Trump is unable to contain something, control something. Here we have, as well as we have, this is Iran. This is Iran now, right? This is the energy of Iran. So this is telling the story of what's going on. So Iran, we have here is the Four of Pentacles reversed. This is somebody who's containing something, trying to seek consolidate, trying to hold on to what they have. Instead, they don't. They don't feel threatened. They feel emboldened. So Iran feels emboldened. They feel like they don't have to protect something anymore. That they can just go at it with full force. So that is what is kind of giving me the energy of Iran. But Iran could end up being toppled in some way, and Iran could end up collapsing and falling within its own weight. If it commits too much of its resources to doing this type of scenario, whatever it is, if it goes into war, if Iran commits too much of its resources into this war, Iran will collapse. We do have here now going into Palestine. We have the Page of Pentacles reversed, an opportunity, coming in with an opportunity. Here it's reversed. It was a lack of opportunity. Your opportunity was taken away from you. This is saying that those are people who moved in after the Jews have been forced out of Israel back in the, I don't really remember, so I'm not 100% sure, but it's telling me here, this is the Page of Pentacles, telling me they came in with an opportunity, they had the foundation, then it was taken back from them, and there was always fighting from that point on. So there was this issue of, we move in, we become a new owner. So for example, the best way I can describe this is, you buy a house, right? And you buy a house from its previous owner. The owner leaves, right? So now you own the house, but then somebody comes back in, the owner comes back in and squats in your home. But there's nothing you can do because the laws protect the squatter, but it does not protect the homeowner. That's what it feels very much like. It feels very, very much in that line of idea, is that they had an opportunity to buy their own home, to build their own life, and in a way, it's being trampled on, it's being stopped, it's being halted. Now let's go ahead, let's take a look at Israel. Israel comes in as the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles does come in pretty much as, and I hate to say this, and again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Again, like I said, I don't really insert any of my opinions into this reading. This is the Three of Pentacles. It feels very much, now again, like I always said before, I support the people of Palestine and people of Israel. I don't support the government of either. I don't support any of the governments in any of these countries, but I do support the people. But the thing is that when you start to look at Israel and the leadership in Israel, you have here come to the Three of Pentacles. There's an offer for peace, but it feels very much like the leader, Netanyahu, whatever his name is, does not want peace. There's an offer here. This is the peace. This is the peace treaty. This could all be over. But he's like, nah, I have something better. And you see here, this person is holding something. First time he's holding something, it looks like a black cape. Right? He's holding like a piece of clothes. You ever go to the tailor and you get this little coat hanger and it's black? There's something black here behind him. Or in front of him, really. And you have here him emptying out. It's like, no, I'm not going to take this piece. I'm not going to take it. And this is what Israel comes in at. Israel comes in at the energy of being offered peace. Something, but does not want the peace. There's an ulterior motive here. Now, this is not talking about the people of Israel. We're talking about the government in Israel, right? Palestine, these are talking about the people, the history. This is what this is talking about here. It's talking about the history, the historical reference. As for Iran, it's talking about its resources. For the United States, it's talking about the position of where the United States is and how weak it became after trying to dissolve the Iran nuclear deal that was put in place by Obama to bring in and contain Iran. Now, going into the other side now that we have to understand what each person does and what each person plays a role in, because we have the leadership, right, the failure of leadership, you have here the resources, the opportunity, historical significance, and then you're talking about here the, the ability to not want to create peace, and there's an ulterior motive. It tells us the story already. Now, when you start to look at it, we start to break it up, right? This is what each country plays a role in. But this is talking about the grandeur of scheme. This is the environment. Now, when you start to take and remove all those countries out, what is going on in the area right now? Well, first of all, we have a failure of leadership, of contracts, the withdrawal and inability to abide by those contracts. Then you have here possibly someone feeling overconfident about their resources and willing to use and deplete, but if they decide to overextend those resources, they will end up collapsing into other collapse and desolate, which tells me that the country, whoever spends the most amount of resources on this, is going to end up facing a collapse. We do have here an opportunity to talk about the past historical records about what happened in the Middle East and when the United States plays a role in the Middle East and everything going on here. Now, I'm also getting pulled to also highlight what the United States did to Iran back in the 1960s. So I'm also getting pulled to that. And then we also have here as well, we have here the refusal to accept peace when peace is offered. Instead, you have an ulterior motive to create something else that doesn't even need to be. And the next card that comes in as well, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords reversed is clearly indicating to me in particular that this, although it's a legal document, it's a legal standing, something to create peace and stability, is anything but that. It's creating havoc in the background with chaotic people, chaotic leaders. It's saying that the United States' leadership is chaotic. Iran's leadership is chaotic. Palestine's leadership is chaotic. And so is Israel's leadership is chaotic. They don't have an opportunity for peace here because they are unwilling to let their egos be put aside and do what's right. And in the end, a lot of people will die from this. This is not going to be an event that is funny. This is not a funny thing. This is never funny. But this is the card that comes in as the final outcome card. There will be five reasons why this happened. 5 reasons, and it could have been avoided. The funny thing is that the entire situation here could have been avoided entirely. But instead, people, the government in particular, refused to abide by that. They refused to accept peace for when it's offered, but instead to keep pushing the boundaries of what is normal, what is accepted, what is okay. And this is what comes in at the last card, the 5 of Cups. There will be a lot of loss. There will be more loss than what's gained. There's going to be another Afghanistan type situation here. Now, let's take a look at the cards that best represent each country and the role that they play in this environment. The reason why we use each one is it helped us break down what each card meant. And it told us the overall story, right? It weaves everything together. Now, underneath the Devil card reverse, we're talking about poor leadership and the inability to honor those contracts and just withdrawn is the ability to contain. The United States here is represented the Queen of Cups in this situation. Containment. Keeping a very close eye on things. Putting a lid when things start to get too crazy. Right? Because what happens when the Middle East starts to go bonkers? People notice. They blame the leadership at the top. Although the Middle East is all the way out east, all the way far away from the continental United States, people still blame those at the top. And so it is imperative for the president to ensure that there is peace and tranquility within the Middle East, particularly because people's sons and daughters, their children, their grandchildren, their cousins, their brothers, are all being sent to war. Some people never come back. And that's the reality of it, is that although the Middle East is so far away from the continental United States, it affects everybody at home. And this will be the toppling effect that could destroy Trump's leadership. And that's why Trump is trying to do whatever he can to ensure there is peace in the Middle East, because in a way, it's going to destroy him if he doesn't. The next card is we have Iran. And the Iran card comes in as 3 cards here. The first card that comes in is the 3 of Swords. Iran feels very much betrayed. There was an agreement that was made, and Iran feels betrayed in some way. I'm getting particularly pulled to Qatar. So something with Trump and Qatar, or something with that nation in particular. I'm also hearing Saudi Arabia, so there's also something there with Saudi Arabia. They feel betrayed. Maybe they were not at the table. Not exactly sure, but in some way Iran feels betrayed. We have the 7 of Pentagon. They were looking at their odds. They were saying, hey, listen, this is what we have now, but this is all the things that we could have. So they outweigh the benefits by looking and saying, hey, listen, we can gain a lot more than we can lose from this. At least that's in the perspective. Now remember, they only have resources. Now remember how I said and talked about before about the 4 of Pentacles being reversed? Is that this is somebody of overconfidence. Somebody who said, oh, I can go and do this. I have the resources. But there was a warning here. And the warning was, if you overextend your resources, the nation will collapse, right? Well, take a look at Iran. Iran only has 1 pentacle compared to all the 7 pentacles. If they deplete this entire pentacle, they have nothing. The country collapses. You can't make this stuff up. Right? And then that card is comes in at the 7 of swords. They're going to try to steal land. So Iran's motive is to to expand their resources. But if they are not careful, they could end up depleting the only resource that they have. Going into Palestine, let's find out what's going on in Palestine now. The first card that comes in is the Wheel of Fortune, going back to the past. Something's being revisited from the past, right? Historical reference. We talked about the Page of Pentacles, talking about the past, and how the past plays a big role here. Like I said, guys, you cannot make this stuff up. I'm reading intuitively, and you can see that this means the Wheel of Fortune means going back in the past, but also in the future, which means that the past is coming back into the future. What has always been will always be, right? The next card that comes in as reverse is the Three of Cups. They wanted an opportunity, but they couldn't get that opportunity because it's the Three of Cups reverse, which means that as long as you were in that area, you would never be accepted for what you are. There will always be war, right? You can never have that good opportunity. What does Palestine really want? What's the goal that they really want? And again, I speak for the people of the citizen. This is what the intuition is telling me. This is not the government in Palestine at the moment. This is for the people, the government. What does the people in Palestine really want? They just want to coexist with the Israelites. They just want to exist cohabitantly together as one body. They want to cohabit. They don't mind sharing the land with Israel, with the Israelites, right? This is what the card comes in at. They don't mind it. What they do mind is them being forced out, being pushed out, and not being accepted for being there. Okay, yeah, you may have owned the land at one point, but you've been gone, and now we came in, and now you're pushing us out. That's the same concept. Think of it, the best way to put it is the Native Americans, right? The United States came in, swooped in, took the land from the Native Americans, and now the Native Americans want to push the United States out and get their land back, right? Just the reality of it, it's very difficult to negotiate. In a way, they have compromised. They're like, well, listen, why can't we just live and cohabit together, right? Now, I'm not talking about Hamas or whatever. A lot of people on the media are going to tell you that Palestinians and Hamas are the same. They are not. One's a terrorist organization, the other one is just a regular person. It's like comparing MAGA and saying MAGA and Americans are synonymous. They are not. Right? There are those who identify themselves as MAGA over being American. But that doesn't mean that everybody is like MAGA. But everybody can be American. I hope that makes a little bit more sense. And we do also have here, we do have the Queen of Wands. There is some sort of spiritual guidance here. This is the sunflower card. Sometime around harvest season, when the sunflower starts to really rise, there will be a sun that will shine on Palestine. There is a light that's being shown on Palestine. The condition, the ability that they can cohabit together with the Israelites. The reality of it is, it's telling me here that, okay, even though Palestine and Israel had a very bad history and that there's always going to be a sense of war, there is a desire by the collective within Palestine to have a better future, to cohabit and coexist together. And here you have is underneath Israel, which is the Israeli government, right? The ability that there's a darker ulterior motive. I don't know why I cannot say it, but ulterior motive, which is the Three of Pentacles here. What it's telling me is that, okay, so there's an offer for peace, but it was refused for this offer. That it didn't have to be this way, but yet it was. And then that card that come in as well. The first card is the government in reverse. The government failed the people in Israel. The government failed the people in Israel. It's followed by victory. They need a victory. The Six of Wands here is saying victory. He needs the key. He needs the key to something. For some reason, Netanyahu, whatever it is, Prime Minister Netanyahu in Israel needs the key. He needs 2 keys to unlock something. There's a key here that he's looking for. There's a key, and he needs to have victory. And why is it that Netanyahu wants victory in Israel and the war that had ensued? It's because, in a way, he feels very much like, if I make Israel victorious, people will keep me in position of power. This is not about the severity of the people and caring about the people in Israel. This is about ensuring that you are in control. The next card that comes in is the Chariot card, coming in hot and fast and heavy. This is military, right? So he's using his military advantage to essentially not only destroy the people in Israel, but also destroy those around him who he perceives is going to get in his way of his goal. And that's what it feels very much like. He's saying here that the government is reversed, and he knows he needs to operate on two keys. He needs to unlock something, and he wants to support the people to constantly keep him in position of power by providing them with temporary, quote, winning or morale, and boosting the morale of the country, but also using the military with force and a hard fist, right? The next card that comes in is though that's going to fail. Because the people in Israel are going to rebel. And here we have it, the hangman reverse. We're just saying that there will be a consciousness, there will be a wake up, there will be a revitalization. The people are, oh, wait, hold on. So, like, you got this morale here. You're telling me that, oh, we won this war, but yet you became a militaristic state. Israel had become a militaristic zone. Whether the people there realize it or not, Israel has become a militarized zone. And that's what it feels very much like. I'm petting my little puppy right now. Hello, Coco. But that's what the hang card reversed. I'll give you some more in a minute. And then we have here as well, we have the Ten of Wands reversed, the Ten of Swords reversed, which means that there will be coming an end eventually for Israel and its ability to finish out what it has destined to do. So there will be an ending that will come, but there will be a side effect of that. The side effect is that it looks very much like Israel will commit a lot of crimes, and because of the idea to maintain control, and it's a militarized zone, and it's using an authoritarian type situation, what it feels very much like, there will be a lot of those who will die under that type of regime. And it's also followed by, although there's victory here, but the victory comes at a cost, and the cost of those are lives. And underneath the hangman reverse, we also have here the Ten of Pentacles reverse as well. The Ten of Pentacles reverse means that the country would actually be broke. And the country and the position, if you want to know what way Israel is going in terms of when it's going to end and accept there's no way but to accept a truce or a peace, is when Israel runs out of money. That is when Israel will stop. When Israel runs out of money and able to fund this war is when the war will end in Israel. When Israel will stop going after those around them. That's what I'm getting in the cards. Again, like I said, this is not my personal reading. But it feels very much like Israel is actually involved, and it has to do with not protecting the Israeli state or protecting those within Israel, but it has a sinister meaning. The intention behind it is to ensure that they are empowered, that they stay in power. This has nothing to do with protecting Israel or Jews. This has something to do with something a little bit darker. And it comes at a cost. And so, with that said here, we have, like I said here, the Fool card reverse. Being very cautious, because you can end up like this very quickly. And that's the whole game. That's the whole idea. That's the whole thing. So, that is the story. That's the environment. That's what each country plays a role in. And if something was to happen and something was to get involved, then you will know what happened. The question that I want to know is, and this is the only question I'm going to ask, is, was Trump involved in this in any way? Did Trump initiate this? Did Trump plan this so that he himself can get re-elected, or he can declare something where there's a state of emergency and, the United States in particular have to cancel a midterm? I'm not saying there will be, but just saying, I'm just going to ask the card, what this plan, and will Trump enter us into war? That's all I want to know. Quick, simple, and then the video's over. But I actually liked how well thought out the guys really gave us in terms of its contact, the detail reading. I really do like that. So thank you, Spirit. And you guys let me know in the comment section below what you think of today's video. Okay, so Spirit Angel, tell me about Trump. Did Trump plan this? Would Trump plan a situation that's going on right now in Israel, Palestine, Iran, and the United States involvement in the war that's happening between Palestine, Israel, and Iran? Did Donald Trump, the President of the United States, plan this? We have the Nine of Swords here. We have Justice. We have the Ace of Cups. And I think it's no. He didn't plan it the way it came in. I don't feel like he did. This is the Nine of Swords. This is actually very bad for him. Like I said before in the reading about the United States, is that if the United States cannot get control of the Middle East, there will be major problems for that position of power, that person in power. Donald Trump sees this as a threat. He did not want this. So no, Donald Trump did not plan that. We have justice in reverse. He does not know what to do. He does not know how to handle this. This is like somebody who's not involved in foreign policy, who does not know what he's doing. He's just going to make things worse. And here you have is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is saying that things are just going to keep flowing as they are. Donald Trump has no power here. Donald Trump has no power. So no, the question is, did Donald Trump plan this? No, he did not plan this. This is not something that was planned. So no, Donald Trump was kind of taken aback by this. He was kind of shocked that this happened because this could end his leadership. This could be the nail in the coffin, right? Now let's take the last thing here is, okay, if we know that Donald Trump did not plan this, will Donald Trump enter us, the United States, into war? Will Donald Trump enter the United States into war? The King of Wands, your conservative leader, with justice and 5 of Pentacles reverse. And we have with certainty the balance here. Yeah. We have the Page of Pentacles reverse. And we have the other top of the deck here with the Queen of Wands reverse. This can end his position of power. If he decides to do this, it could kill him. Like, could be physically, you know. I did say he gets shot out of the sky in a plane by a foreign entity. So it would not be shocking if that was to happen. Okay, so we have the King of Wands upright. The King of Wands is the lizard, right? The reptile. Gadget. This is the King of Wands here. This is the conservative card. He's looking away from justice. He's looking away from the rule of law. So if Donald Trump was to do this, he would not follow by the proper way of doing things, which would be included in the rule of law and the declaration of war. So will Donald Trump enter us into war? If he does, it will be on his decision, not on Congress' decision. And here we have the 5 of Pentacles, means not walking away. So if Donald Trump were to do this, this scenario here is telling me that he is going to bypass the law and will enter the United States into war. But you see how the people are walking towards this way. They're walking towards this way, and he's looking this way. The king is looking that way. There's this saying here. There's just people walking away from something, right? But as you all know and remember, Donald Trump withdrew. Well, Biden withdrew the troops from Afghanistan, but it was orchestrated by Donald Trump, right? But it happened under Biden, and Biden approval went down, right? And that's essentially what that meant with the 5 of Pentacles. Donald Trump could re-enter the United States back into the Middle East again, and that could really tank him. And that's why they say here that they're not walking away. He said he walked them away, but not really, right? The other outcome here is we have the Page of Cups reverse. With certainty of peace. With certainty with peace, with the Temperance. And you have here with certainty of peace, and here you have the Sun card. The Sun card in reverse is not trying to declare victory, but also not trying to declare defeat. Now, when you read them all together, because we have this scenario here, the scenario 2, we have scenario 1. When you compopulate them and put them together, well, let's put them together. Let's see what the readings now say. Well, we have the King of Wands, a representation of a person in power, who is not looking at the odds. He's looking at a very specific way. He has no experience in terms of foreign policy. You have here the law of justice, using law or justice to justify specific action. But you have here the cloth here. You don't want to see what's behind you. You don't want to see the light that's behind you. Instead, you only see the color red, which means foundation, the self. So if he was to do this, it would be based on what's best for himself rather than what's best for the nation. We have here as well as not walking away from something. This is the 5 of Pentacles. But if he's very fixated on a victory and he wants a victory, he will try and create a victory, even if it's not a genuine one. And here you have with certainty that he needs to create a balance. So it's saying here that this is going to be unpopularity, right? This is here a guy who's not looking at the rule of law, doing whatever's best for himself under the justice card. And you have here not walking away from a specific idea could really tank his approval rating. And because of that, with certainty, if he needed, he will create peace and try to force peace to happen in the Middle East. But will it be successful? The answer is no. It will not be successful. So, again, the motive here is Donald Trump is going to try to create peace in the Middle East, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to fail. That's all I got. Now, the other war, let's just take one quick little dab at this, and we're done. I'm getting 122. So let's take a look at 122. Let's see what it says. And I'll do a quick interpretation and the video's over. I apologize. I just realized I had the book and I was like, I have to at least read something to you guys. Okay, here you go. The Art of War with Commentary. Okay, this is page 122 if you want to read it on your own time. Okay. Poverty of the state and questioner causes an army to be maintained by contribution from a distance. Contributing to maintain an army at a distance causes the people to be impoverished. Dash. The beginning of this sentence does not balance properly with the next. Though obviously intended to do so, the arrangement, moreover, is so awkward that I cannot help suspecting some corruption in the text. It never seemed to occur to the Chinese commenters that an amendation may be necessary for the sense, and we get no help from there. The Chinese word for Sun Tzu, used to indicate the cause of the people impoverished, clearly have reference to some system by which the husbandmen sent their contribution of corn to the army they wrecked. But why should it fall on them to maintain an army in this way, except because the state or government is too poor to do so? So again, this is going to affect the United States if you want to do this, and this is telling us what is going to happen. We have here number 11. On the other hand, the proximity of an army causes prices to go up, and high prices cause the people's substance to be drained away. Wang Heis says high prices occur before the army has left its own territory. Chaos Kung understands it of an army that has already crossed the frontier. Number 12. When their substance is drained away, the peasantry will be afflicted by heavy extractions. And number 13 and 14. With this loss of substance and exhaustion of strength, the homes of the people will be stripped bare, and 3/10 of their income will be disbanded. We're talking about the economy and how people have to give up everything to be able to fund a war. It's talking about not only Iran, it's talking about the United States. It talks about Israel. It talks about Palestine. I think that's pretty powerful. And again, this is the art of the war. Well, thank you for all you guys who have contributed to the channel by engaging with the content, which helped fund the channel and help fund the server. Help fund the YouTube channel, but also helped allow us to get things and do fun things like this. So thank you. All right, guys, thank you. Have a great night. I'll see you all next time. Until then, peace out. I love you.